So welcome to this discussion on resiliency and uncertainty. We're going to talk about planting seeds today. So that's the focus of our discussion, both literally and figuratively, what that means to plant seeds of resilience. So we're going to talk about creating new ideas, being innovative, and also the importance of holding on to hope. My name is Tanya Lauer. I'm a counselor with Life and Work Connections, and I've worked in the field of mental health for about 20 years, and I've really focused the majority of that time on resilience. I've done a lot of trauma work with people and working on a lot of different issues, but what is something that I would consider full of grace and a privilege is watching people come through difficulties and a stressful situation. And of course, we're all in a stressful situation together. So this is a practice to come through together and maybe plant some seeds today. So keep in mind that we have 15 for You sessions every weekday at 10 a.m. And on our website at Life and Work Connections, we also have a YouTube channel. So if for some reason you can't make it or you miss one, there are recordings for you, so you can check that out. I also want to mention, I think it's so important to connect for our resilience and to have some fun. Every Tuesday and Thursday at 2 p.m., we have water cooler sessions, and it's a great way to just connect with colleagues and take a break and be together. So I really encourage you to join us live or through recordings. And if you know a colleague or someone in your support system who could benefit, please let them know about these resources. And what I know from clinical experience and also just as a human being is a brief connection and a few minutes can make such a difference in building our resilience. So let's talk about planting seeds, like what that means. So literally, many people are getting their hands dirty and planting flowers and vegetables. I imagine many of you have been winding up at nurseries, making orders and planting new things. Maybe you've got some vegetables or some flowers in mind that you're hoping will come to fruition in your yard. So it's interesting, gardening is really taking off in quarantine. And I think this is a wonderful development for a number of reasons. Of course, for sustainability and the joy of growing our own food, and also to see flowers bloom and to be part of that experience. So of course, that's a mindfulness experience, and gardening is also a coping skill for our mental health. It literally helps us feel grounded during turbulent and uncertain times. The feeling of handling dirt, that sensation, is a great way to naturally experience stress reduction. I've spent some time using sand tray therapy while working with kids. And often the kids I work with end up just playing with the sand and loving it. So that sensory experience of running our hands through the dirt or sand is definitely soothing. Gardening is also an act of hope. Planting seeds is hoping that something will develop, even when we are uncertain and we don't know for sure what the results will be. And I'll throw in a caveat, even in the Sonoran Desert, I'd say, it's even more challenging. So gardening takes courage. And part of resilience is tapping into our courage. So an overview of what we're going to focus on for this time together is also figuratively planting seeds. So planning for the future, coming up with new ideas. And I believe we're in the process of that with all the transitions we're going through now and for the next months ahead. Also, when we plant seeds, we have to engage in an acceptance of imperfection Some ideas, just like seeds we may plant, may not work, and they may not develop in the way that we planned. But we can keep planting and tending to the garden, knowing that some of our ideas will work and might even thrive. We will make time today to talk about what it means to till the soil and even to use fertilizer and cultivate the gardens in our yards and also in our minds. Fear is natural and necessary, and some anxiety keeps us safe. So that's important, but we don't want to live in fear. So what is on the other side of fear is often hope and focusing on our dreams. So we'll spend some time today cultivating our hopes and our visions and goals for the future. So really visualizing what we want, really imagining and prioritizing time to develop our goals that we really wish for, even in the midst of this pandemic. So now what I'd like to do, and this has become a regular thing in these sessions, I hope it becomes regular for all of us. I've been doing a lot more breathing to work on my self-care during this time. So just taking 3 deep breaths together. I put my hand on my heart. Please do whatever feels comfortable with your hands, but you can join me if you want with that. But as we take these 3 breaths together, I'm going to ask you to really focus on what you hope for, what you want. Maybe it's succulent tomatoes in your garden or beautiful sunflowers, but maybe it's finding work-life balance in this new normal that's changing for all of us, or feeling some peace through the day, processing what's going on. So go wherever your mind chooses to with these 3 breaths, but if you can, try to lean into hope. That's the goal for now. So let's take 3 deep breaths together. All right, thank you for doing that. And if you can, bring your focus back to the screen. This is one of my favorite quotes, and I do like quotes. Hope you do too. So Aristotle, hope is a waking dream. So now that we are at home and we may have some time in between all the tasks that we're trying to complete, we can make time to focus on what we dream, what we want, stepping out of the stress and the anxiety for a moment. I do want to also throw out there, hope may sound kind of warm and fuzzy. It's actually really hard work. It's challenging because it's leaping into the unknown. It's using our imagination, and it requires vulnerability. It's also a pathway to positive change and resilience. So developing time to really cultivate our dreams and new ideas can be a focus while we're at home. Maybe it becomes part of your self-care regimen. Another quote, as Eleanor Roosevelt said, the future belongs to those who believe in the beauty of their dreams. The stress of the present can feel so overwhelming, so recognizing the impermanence of our current circumstances can give us a reprieve and some relief, and can give us hope for what could be, and this will pass, and moving into the future. So whether it's keeping a journal or using technology, building time into focus on what we want, and innovative new ideas that could also help our communities. We really need each other right now, and we need our creativity and our ideas. I'll share with you, sometimes I come up with ideas when I'm walking. I don't know if it's the bilateral stimulation or what, but that's when I come up with the most creative ideas. And I'm often turning to my phone or writing things down or taking pictures of concepts or ideas that are meaningful for me. So I really encourage you to find ways that nurture your ideas and innovation for you, and to focus on that and spend time with that. I worked with a client once who focused on hope, and that was the way this person found healing and recovery from really profound depression. And this person shared this poem with me, and it was so powerful at the time, and it still is so powerful now. Hope is a thing with feathers that perches in the soul and sings the tune without the words and never stops at all. Especially that last line is something that really has resonated with me. And that's even when there isn't evidence or anything concrete that we know about the future, hope never stops for us. It's always there. It's always inside of us. So really leaning into that. And that was a real saving grace for this really inspirational client I had the privilege to work with. So hope is there for all of us. And finding different ways to lean into that can be really useful. So we're going to do that. I'm going to talk about it, but we're also going to do it together. So what I'd like you to do is to really focus on what you want, and to start with that premise, even for the next few months. And we'll take some deep breaths together. If you'd like, you can close your eyes. If you want, you can recline back in your chair. And really breathe. So what I'd like you to do is imagine yourself in the next few months. What do you really want? What do you really wish for? And breathe with them. And as you continue to breathe, consider something maybe you've wanted and wished for a long time that really stretches you. And breathe. Let's focus beyond the next few months. What do you really want in your heart and your mind? And I'm going to ask you to go for it. What do you hope and wish for? Let's take a few more deep breaths. And when you're ready, you can bring your focus back to the swing. Thank you for focusing on hope together. Keep in mind that if you feel stuck in your stress or your fear, you can engage in this practice anytime. And your hopes can change every 5 minutes. That's okay. And just to clarify what it means to be successful, focusing on hope alone is successful. Just focusing on it. So that's the goal. And you can go beyond 15 minutes if you'd like. You can create a dream wheel or a vision board or write a list of goals. It's really up to you. So like gardening in your backyard, I also encourage you to keep tending to your ideas and your hopes for the future. You deserve that. We deserve that, especially now. Next week, we will focus on how to recognize and reflect on the strength of our resilience and how it's growing. Thank you for attending today. Take care, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.